Okay, hello everyone and kia ora. Kia ora is our way of saying hello in Māori, te reo Māori in New Zealand. And you often, if you ever have interaction with us, this will be the first kind of greeting that you'll have from anybody, I guess, in New Zealand. So my name is Louisa Sampson and I am the Exchange Advisor for the Americas, UK and Ireland. I previously was in the role of International Student Support Advisor at Otago, so for 6 years. So I do know what it's like to receive students, hold orientation, what you're going to expect as well before you come to Otago and during your stay at Otago as well. So feel free to ask those kind of questions as well. And now I've moved into the exchange role. So it's a really nice kind of journey for me to do this with international students. Okay, so next slide. Okay, we're going to talk about New Zealand and Dunedin first. So Aotearoa is the Māori name for New Zealand. So you often hear both being said when you talk about New Zealand. We have a small amount of 5 million people spread across New Zealand, 3 official languages, English, te reo Māori, and New Zealand Sign Language. We are very world famous for its friendly people, spectacular landscape and relaxed lifestyle. We're often compared to Canadians is to have the similar type of attitude and fun nature and friendliness as well. So this is really nice. World-class education. We also have the first English-speaking country for preparing students in the future, second safest country in the world, second least corrupt, fourth most gender equal country in the world, and of course a few other things like prosperous sustainability and development as well. Okay, we base ourselves on the Māori principles of manaakitanga. So that means we provide hospitality, kindness and generosity and support. And manaaki, what it means is actually it's our way of welcoming you to New Zealand and what we offer you while you're here. So it's a really nice principle to follow. Okay, so Dunedin. Dunedin is another name for Edinburgh. Okay, so it was settled by a lot of Scottish people way back, and you'll notice that if you've ever been to Edinburgh, the streets in Dunedin are the same. So you'll find a Murray Place, you'll find a Princess Street, you'll find a lot of those similar place names in Dunedin. Okay, here's a video that I'll show you here.
Louisa, I'm not sure if there's supposed to be a audio attached to this, but we can't currently hear it. If you wanted to restart the video and this time share with the audience as opposed to just yourself, you should be able to do that.
Okay, what I'll do is, so can I share? Sorry, I wasn't aware that it was not showing.
For sure, yeah.
So it's just a background music, so I think that's okay. So if you saw that, it was just some background music, which will be fine. I think the images probably speak for itself. It's a beautiful campus and it's a beautiful city. What you'll find is that it's very close to many places. So even within 10 minutes, you're going to somewhere completely different by car. So Auckland is about 1 hour and 45 minutes by plane, Wellington 1 hour and 10, and Christchurch is very close by plane as well. But we have beautiful places like Queenstown, Wanaka and Milford Sound, which is only a few hours drive away. And it's quite unique. You have very different landscapes within an hour outside, you know, very hot and cold and just completely different backgrounds. So it is something to really enjoy. Okay, Dunedin, the population is 130 and 25,000 of these are students. So you can see that the student population has a huge impact on Dunedin. We have the youngest population in New Zealand, so 45% of the residents are under 30, very highly educated. We have the highest concentration of postgraduate qualifications here as well, and quality of life. So 88% of people here rate the quality of life as good or extremely good. And we're very much into nature, culture, sport, fashion, and the food scene. So there's fantastic cafes to explore here as well. We have 4 seasons, which is lovely. You can get 4 seasons in one day sometimes. So do come prepared. It is a very lovely place to go, but you do know when the seasons are starting. We're the opposite. So that's something to consider if you are wanting to come on exchange to New Zealand. We have our summer, which is probably coming in the next couple of weeks. That's when summer starts. So we're the opposite to the Northern Hemisphere. And we've just come out of spring, and our winter is generally in July, August, September. Okay, so it's a very big student city. So basically you have the university, and then surrounding the university is what we call Studentville. And that's where most of the students live. In flats or apartments or colleges, those kind of things. It's a very compact city, and so you can walk around the city. You can it's a 10-minute walk right into the center of the city as well. As you can see, in one of the pictures, probably the image is not quite clear, but we're very close to the beaches. They've got some great cafes and surf spots. We're very well known for our surfing. You have places like Tunnel Beach, you have the harbour to do many things. George Street is our main street, and the Octagon, it's because it's shaped like an octagon. That's where a lot of events can happen as well. It's Central City. We're right next to the Botanical Gardens. So that's really, really lovely to be able to walk through there every now and then during your studies. And we have Forsyth Bar Stadium. It was built in 2011 for the Rugby World Cup, which we won. And but it's used for so many other things. We've hosted people like Pink, yeah, you name it, Ed Sheeran, all the different artists there, and hopefully that will come back a lot more next year as well as sports games. Okay, we have a lot of different places, like I said, Dunedin, Queenstown, Fiordland, Aoraki, and the Catlins. If you come here, please explore those places. They are just magical. And it's, like I said, we're really into the outdoors and exploring. So there's plenty to see. A lot of fantastic scenery. We have a lot of cycle tours, so a lot to discover on bike as well. Like I said, lovely gateways, and again, this coincides with how Canada is into the outdoors and their nature and everything like that. So it's a perfect place to come. And like I said earlier, 3 or 4 hour drive from a lot of recreation activities. A lot of students, especially in the high school years, end up going to Queenstown and doing their first bungee jump. So it's just something that we all like to do. Why Otago? Okay, it's our first university. It has 21,000 students with 3,000 international students from 100 countries, and 200 undergraduate and postgraduate subjects with ultra flexible study options. So it's really important to know that you can try a few different things while you're here as well. It's New Zealand's only true residential university because 85% of the students actually come from outside Dunedin. So only 15% are Dunedin residents, which is pretty amazing. We have 150 student-led clubs and societies, huge high student satisfaction, and we have friendly campus watch team. And it's not like a security team, but they're people that walk around the campus 24/7, even on the outskirts where the students live, just to check in on students and make sure they're okay. They've helped students move into flats. They've done a whole bunch of wonderful things for students. So there are definitely people to look out for you. And it's also among the 15 most beautiful campuses in the world. And at the moment, coming to the end of spring, it's just gorgeous. Okay, study options. You've got science, business, and humanities as your study options to come to Otago. Exchange options. So the sciences, these are kind of the subjects that you can do. There's a lot of fieldwork opportunities because we are very outdoors. So we do often go out in boats and go to different places that are much further out than Dunedin. So there's a lot of opportunities to do there. But those are the kind of subjects that you can study here. There's a lot of human health and biomedical sciences as well. So a lot of our students that do these kind of subjects end up going to places like Canada to study that over there as well. Okay, this is the humanities and social sciences. So as you can see, there's a lot of different topics that you can study while you're here. We're not restricted either, and we don't have numbers, for example, that we accept a certain amount of science students or a certain amount of law students or a certain amount of business school students. It's just we accept a certain quota, but it doesn't matter which kind of department or area or division that you come from. Okay, business. So these are the business papers, accounting, business. There's a lot of different things that you can try. And we do have a business school, but it's still part of the main campus. So it's not a separate business school. So when you apply to Otago, you don't have to apply for something else. It's just you apply again to the whole of Otago. Okay, we also have some really great New Zealand papers, and we call them papers here, which I'll explain a little bit later instead of courses. But these are a whole bunch of different things that you want. If you want to study, that would be a great thing. I notice that a lot of our students from Otago, when they go on exchange, they want to study a particular subject that's specific to that country. And it's really important to them to try that. Okay, life in the classroom. So we have lectures, what we call lectures, and they are usually about a 15-minute oral teaching session in person. And so we have lecture theatres like this all around the university. Depending on what you're taking as your course, it would depend on the class size. Some are a lot smaller than that. Tutorials, these are small group sessions led by a tutor for discussion, individual assistance, and some are compulsory and some will be optional. So these are often you'll add extra credits in these, or extra, I guess, percentage of your final mark will be counted in some of these tutorials. But it's a chance to get into group sessions, smaller groups, and discuss certain topics and projects. We have a lot of hands-on experience. Like I said, you can go out to places that are beyond Dunedin and explore some amazing things. We have great summer school papers where you can go and do a wine and food course as well. There's a lot of things where, like I said, we're really into nature and the environment and everything to do around that as well. We have laboratory sessions, so experimental or practical work, and this may be compulsory, and attendance, like I said, as tutorials may count towards your final grade. So this will be obviously particularly in the science areas. So how to apply to Otago? So semester one, this is something to consider. So if you're looking on our website, please remember that semester one, again, is the opposite to what you may have. So semester one starts in February. So our start of the year is literally the start of the year. It starts in January, and that's when our summer school starts. And then we go into semester one in February, and then semester two is in July. So just to clarify that, if you are looking on our website, that is a little bit different, and just remember that it's the opposite. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, our courses at Otago are called papers, so you'll come across that. Normally students are required to have a minimum B average, which is a grade of 70%, so I guess that's how you work out your GPA as well. And while there's no limit on the number of students accepted to a particular course, entry to any course is based on your relevant background. So when you're choosing papers at Otago, it's really important to look at what the prerequisite papers are, like the papers that you needed to take beforehand to be able to do that paper. And you may have something which is very easily the equivalent back at your home university. So just kind of compare them together, compare what the prerequisites are and the content, and compare what you've done back home. And then that will kind of give you an idea if that paper is right for you. We also have the English requirements for international students, and there's a whole bunch of different ways if English is not your first language. But also if you've been learning at Canada, then basically we can accept a letter from your institution to say that that's what you've been doing. There are restricted programs like medicine, dentistry, psychiatry, psychotherapy, pharmacology, pharmacy, and other clinical courses, what we call here health sciences programs, because they're so bespoke, that we can't really do the equivalent elsewhere, that's what we can't allow students to do once they come to Otago. Okay, so our nomination deadline is the 1st of October, and that's for summer school and a February start. So again, that would be February start is our semester 1, and the 1st of March for a July start. So you have time to actually apply for I guess the July start next year, which is great, and you have until the 1st of March to be nominated. The application deadline is the end of those months, so the 30th of October for summer school and a February start, which is our semester 1, and 30th of March for the July start. So you have a bit of time to do some research, check things out, and then apply for Otago, and then be nominated by the 1st of March for our July start next year. Okay, as I said, this is how it goes. You are nominated, then we send you information about your application. You apply online, and then you receive acknowledgement of your application completion. An offer of place, that's what it's called, an offer of place letter, is emailed to you, and then you use that offer of place to apply for your student visa. But you need to have that offer of place before you can do that. Accommodation. So we have a lot of accommodation options at Otago. We have 14 residential colleges, uni flats, shared housing, private accommodation. There's a lot to kind of look at. There are especially with uni flats, I guess, we do put housing aside for exchange students. It's good to get it in on time though, to guarantee that you have a place. And this is what uni flats is. So we call a flat here. A flat, it can be a house, but it's where you go and stay with someone in a house, but it's more, I guess, it's not your own, and you're flatting with lots of other people, and we end up just calling that a flat. It's accommodation for exchange students. You share a house, okay, and they're usually located very close to the university, which is quite nice. There's about 4 to 6 occupants, and one of them is a Kiwi host. So one of them is someone from New Zealand who studied here and is perhaps in their 3rd year, and they're there just to, you know, help you with anything that you need, take you on trips, I guess, do all sorts of different things. But it's really nice to have someone who is from New Zealand in the flat with you if you, want to get to know the area and the way New Zealand works. And we also match people. So in your application, you write a whole bunch of things, and we try to match with people who are like-minded. We also have a sustainability neighbourhood, and that is something that you also have to apply for, and it's growing your own vegetables. There's a lot of really interesting things that happen in that neighbourhood. Okay, so these are all the different types of, I guess, accommodation options that you can have. Life on campus and student support. So basically, we have a lot of student services. Ask Otago is our central information system. So basically, that's based in the central library. And as you can see in the top right picture there, that is the desk that you go to, and you ask all sorts of information. They should have the answers to everything, and if they don't, they will source that out. So, and you'll notice that on our website, that's also, if you have any questions before you come to Otago, that's where you go to. We also have international student support. That's where I used to work for before, and that's pastoral care, visa and insurance team. So basically, the visa and insurance team, you contact them as soon as you know you're coming to New Zealand if you have any questions. And also international student support, they look after you from the day you arrive in New Zealand. So if you need any support whatsoever, they are there for you. We have the Otago University Students Association, OUSA, Social Impact Studio, chaplains and Campus Watch. So a lot of people looking out for you. If you have a disability as well, we have a disability support office, and let us know before you arrive so we can connect you with them, and they can put everything in place that they need to before you come. So Unipol, this is free with your student ID. This is built outside the stadium, the rugby stadium that was built, just basically attached to it, and you have a lot of great services that you can use. I guess aerobics, group study rooms. You also have cardio rooms, weights rooms, There's badminton, basketball, table tennis courts that you can just book out with friends and hang out. A great cafe. There's a place where you can hire a whole bunch of outdoor gear, camping, skiing, tents, surfboards, all that kind of thing. It's a fantastic facility. A lot of clubs to join as well, that are outdoor ones, and also Social Impact Studio is a volunteer association. So often you'll go out and plant trees, you'll go out and fix the wetlands, but then go kayaking for the day. There's a lot of really cool, fun things to do with that. Learning and support, we have 7 libraries, student learning development that can help you out if you need help with essay writing, if it might be a bit different. Career Development Centre, help you with a whole bunch of things. And as I said earlier, disability information support. Student health is where you go to see anything to do with healthcare. And basically you have a special medical and travel insurance. It's compulsory with the University of Otago that covers all of that. Okay, we also have UniBuddy student ambassadors. So remember this page, because these are students that are on call anytime on this page to answer your questions. So if you write UniBuddy Otago in Google, you'll be able to find this page and, you know, chat with them to ask any questions that you like, and they're very happy to answer. Because they're students themselves, they know what they're going through right now, and they can give some really good advice. Okay, are there any questions? Oh,
Hi, everyone. Just so you know, we do have another presentation at 3 p.m. So we have about 5 minutes, but Louisa and I are here to answer any of your questions as well. But for now, are there any quick questions that anyone would like to ask? You can send them through the chat, or you can just raise your hand and we'll have you answer.
Oh, I've got someone who can't hear anything.
I think that was back when you were playing the video. So that's
okay, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah. And sorry about that. This next time I'll remember to do that.
No, that's okay. If there are no questions, oh wait, there is a question. They asked, do you offer a kinesiology program?
I think there is one, because we have students that want to do that overseas as well. So we do have a department that does study those type of study exercise and sports science at Otago. So that's the department to look up to see what kind of kinesiology papers that are offered there. So do go and look after up study exercise and sports science at Otago, and you'll find a list of papers, courses.
Yes, yeah, that's a really interesting thing. Like, courses in New Zealand are called papers. So if you hear that term again and you're applying to Otago or anywhere else, that's what that means. In terms of your question as well, we have sent kinesiology students before to Otago, so I don't think it should be an issue. There is an equivalent faculty. I see another question as well. So they're saying, if I want to study in February 2024, when would I apply? I can tell you right now, you would be applying right now between now and January 15th to go to Otago in winter 2024.
That would be, was it semester?
That would be semester 1 for you, and for us it would be the winter 2024 is January to
Yes,
April.
February. Yeah, and basically you would just have to be nominated by the 1st of October next year. So you have time to kind of do a bit of research as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, this is my first time presenting this seminar, so I tried to rush through it a little bit. So hopefully you've got the information that you need. But once you're nominated as well, I'm very happy for the students to be able to connect with me directly and answer those types of questions, and come forward with the application and make that process so much easier. So absolutely, if you want to connect with me directly once you're nominated, I'll be happy to help you out.
For sure. And before then, if you would want to email goabroad@uw.ca, we are happy to answer any questions you have about applying to Otago.